Hello and welcome to the Live Life Golden Show. I am so excited about episode 67. Stop being unlucky and raise your vibe to allow luck to be on your side. So, we're going to find out today if you have been running an unlucky vibration. I know people who have done this their entire lives. So that's why I'm interested in the show. Because if you believe that you're not lucky, if you believe that things are never going to go your way, that's exactly what you're going to create. I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what has happened in your life experience up until now, we can freaking change it. We can absolutely change it by working on these underlying belief systems and by exposing the vibrations that you may not be completely conscious of and the words and thoughts and beliefs you've been using to create an alignment with unlucky energy. So yeah, I'm just so pumped about this. So just a little little catch up with me. We just came back from Vegas. Oh my gosh, we had such an amazing weekend. We went and saw Wayne Brady. If you ever get a chance to see Wayne Brady, he is on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And he does everything through improv, and his show was fantastic. It was in Vegas. And we went with my husband's clients who I had been out with one time before, and they're like my husband's favorite clients. And if you're a client of my husband, it's nothing. You're his favorite too. Like he just has his favorites. And these people are wonderful and they have great senses of humor and they're very lighthearted and they're very much in alignment with what we love to live. So I didn't really know them that well. So I will say I had a little bit of nervousness going into this, spending the whole weekend with people that I barely know. But it was fantastic. It was so fantastic that we have plans to go back to Vegas to see Earth, Wind, and Fire in October. So we made plans. And the funny thing is, when they asked us if we wanted to go, they originally just said, "Hey, do you guys want to go see Wayne Brady?" And I said, "Yes, yes." Like every time somebody asks me something, I'm pretty quick to say yes because I love life and I love experiencing life. And then they were like, "Oh, by the way, it's in Vegas." And I was like, "Okay, I already said yes, so I guess we're going." So that's how it works, when you're saying yes to life, when you're saying yes to more, and you're trusting that what you're saying yes to is going to work out in your favor. And it really did. We had a very high vibrational weekend. And we got to really enjoy people that we hadn't met before and really got to know them. And now a friendship, I think pretty deep friendship has been born. So how cool is that? All right, so let's jump into our conversation today and let's just first look at the way you've been living life up until now. And even if you don't have a lot of these, there may be some that you connect with that you can go, "Oh yeah, I've definitely been believing that and I've definitely been living a little bit of that story." So here we go. Have you felt unlucky your whole life? Have you just had this where, some people say they were born under the gold star? People could say that about me, I guess. Or not really. I mean, if you really look at my story, it didn't go that way. Maybe it's going that way now, but it's because I have connected with a really strong vibration of abundance and joy and up leveling at every turn. So nothing that is happening in my life is labeled as bad or unlucky. It's actually labeled as my growth, my up level, my expansion. So it's all about the story that we wrap around it. So if you've had a life experience where you feel like things have not worked out for you, maybe you've had a divorce, maybe you've had financial struggles, bankruptcy, foreclosure, hello. Maybe you've had many failed relationships, many failed friendships. Maybe you're estranged from your biological family. Some of these things, like especially if you have a few of them in your life path, can make you feel as though you're unlucky. All right, so this is how you know if you've been kind of living an unlucky path, and you probably already know. But here's some things that you may be saying. As my luck would have it. I hear this one quite a bit. As my luck would have it. And they're always saying that in the negative, not about things working out for them, but if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. Oh goodness, I have so heard that so many times. You have a lot of good things happening and you say, "I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop." Like you're waiting for something bad to happen because things are going too well, and life never goes that well. Believe that? Crap. Okay, we got to change that. Uh, if something bad is going to happen, it's going to happen to me. I think I said that one already. I'm not lucky like that. You look at other people, you feel jealousy, you feel envy, you feel, all that stuff. Not good, not good. Because then your belief system along with that is they get to have it and I don't. And I'm resentful about that. And that's not a vibration of abundance or luck, and it will get you more of the same. I never win anything. Do you say that? I never win anything. People usually say this when they win something. And then I'll go, okay, you can't say that anymore because your luck is changing. Hello. Everybody hates me. Nobody loves me. I hear that one sometimes. Or, people have that vibration. So then they end up creating relationships and fail at friendships because they have this underlying wound that tells them that they're unlovable, that they're unworthy of great relationships. So this is a really good one. And I know that we can say this about some years recently. But I actually had a relative who, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I had a relative who would say this pretty much every year, that was the worst year ever. And every New Year's, they would say this year has got to be better than the last. And then what happens is something, they're taking the momentum from the year before. So then something in the beginning of the year doesn't go their way and they go, oh, this year is going to be crap too. Yeah. You familiar with that one? Because that one's deep in our social programming. I see it all the time. And that's why people get excited about the new year, because they think, oh, we're going to leave all the energy of last year behind. But you take yourself with you. And unfortunately, we have this thing called momentum. And the fact that the law of attraction works in both ways, it works either negatively or positively, depending on what you're tuned into. So if you're tuned into a bunch of woe is me, a bunch of victimhood, a bunch of believing that things are not ever going to go your way, you're going to pull that energy with you. And even if you're feeling positive in the beginning, even if you try to be positive, remember that trying thing is like inviting failure, you still have the underlying vibration of failure. So then as soon as something happens that's not optimal, you're flipping out and saying the whole year is going to suck. There is no such thing as a bad year. There is only such thing as a moment. It's just a moment. And I don't even like to call it a bad moment, because everything is about our expansion and growth. So even things that are happening that are less than optimal, it's really cool if you can get into a foundational knowing that things are going to work out for me, and I can't wait to see what manifests from this. And you steer yourself away from anxiety. You've got to get in a really strong foundation of peace, really strong meditation practice, and you've got to relax, because as soon as you start getting into fear and anxiety, and I know it's challenging because there's a lot right now. There's a lot. The world is giving us a lot to feel fearful about and anxious about, and I absolutely refuse to tune into any of it. I shouldn't even be mentioning it, but I'm mentioning it because it's coming through, because some of you are feeling it. Some of you are listening to the news. Some of you are looking at the stock. Some of you are feeling the crunch. And quite honestly, if something is making you feel uncertain and fearful, pull your money out of it. Pull your money out of it. We had to do that a while ago. My husband was super anxious, and I said, pull your money out. You're going to get more peace of mind. You're going to feel more joy and abundance by not being involved in that. If it feels volatile, it is. So do it. You're not going to lose anything, because the peace of mind is worth everything. And that, fear of missing out it's one of the ways we get ourselves in trouble. Didn't know that was going to come up, but that came up for somebody. So the first thing you must do is look at your cycles. So look at your cycles through life, and what you were told about yourself and what your family energy was about the world. Was your family energy very unlucky? Did your family resent wealthy people? Did they feel like things never really happened their way? Did you have a lot of tragic and traumatic things that happened as a child? If you did, that energy may still live within you, and you still might be sending out a vibration that is how I navigate in the world. I'm always in survival mode. Are you always in survival mode? Oh gosh, I live there. I'll live there, baby. And it was not enjoyable. So that is actually one of the reasons that I started studying universal law. I started studying law of attraction and applying it to my life experience, because survival mode sucks. And so in survival mode, you can't create. You can't be a fantastic creator. Maybe you can. Like, a lot of the stuff that we did through desperation and through needing to make money forced us out of our comfort zones, yes. but it wasn't very enjoyable. I much more enjoy doing it because I want to do it and because it feels good. So if you're in survival mode, we got to work on that. We got to work on releasing that and seeing, where is that foundation coming from? We've got a lot of generational stuff, from ancestors, from depression energy and stuff like that needs to be released and dealt with. And you're going to get that all through journaling and asking yourself these questions. How did I grow up in the world? Before I was 5 years old, what was my family's financial condition? What was their relational condition? Were we always fighting? Were we always bickering? Was there no chance for happiness or joy? You got to look at these things because those are the things that set you up for your navigation in your life story. And if your navigation in your life story has been very intense, has been very dramatic, has been very victimized, like you just feel like a victim, you won't be able to be a powerful creator because that is this frequency you're tuning into. You're tuning into that radio station that is giving you more energies to feel unlucky, more circumstances to feel unlucky, because remember, our beliefs create. So if you believe you're an unlucky person, if you believe you were born under an unlucky star, why would you want to do that to yourself? You don't want to do that to yourself anymore. If you're listening to this, you are not going to do that to yourself anymore. I'm going to break you free. I'm going to activate you in this show to no longer be this unlucky person and to look at your circumstances and the things that are happening to you, if they're less than optimal, just as momentum. And I'm going to teach you how to respond to these things so that you can actually change the energy field and not create more of them. So that's a little later in the show. I'm going to go over that. All right. So yeah, what was the vibe in your household about the lucky, about the wealthy and the abundant? One of the sayings in my house was money talks and people walk. So basically, like, money just makes people crappy, makes them break up friendships with me. Like, that was something that I heard over and over and over again. And I don't believe it. I've known lots of wealthy, amazing, and loving people. So yeah, I'm tuned into that vibration. Do you often suffer from feeling others are better than you? So this is a really good episode to connect with. A past episode that I did on this is episode 13, how to overcome not feeling valued and manifest your true worthiness. Because a lot of unworthiness is a lot of the issues that we have with people in the world. Their egos are running the show. They're not really connecting with the idea that we are all one, the idea that we are an energetic field, and that we don't have to prove ourselves, that we can put ourselves out there and we can put value out there and we can love people and we can live a really beautiful existence without needing to have all the money and have all the fame and have all the fortune and be crappy people. We don't have to do that anymore. That's old school. That's definitely old school programming. So this is about rising above. And I think we do see a lot of wealthy, famous people that are reaching back and, providing value and being good humans. Not all of them, but some of them. I like to look for the evidence of that. And there's definitely a few that are definitely doing that sort of a thing. So do you suffer from that? Do you suffer from unworthiness? Journal about this to get to the root and the foundation. And what you want to ask is, what was the energy around me when I was growing up? Did I have a lot of people who were living in unworthiness? Was I told that I was unworthy? Was I devalued as a person? Because that's a wound that you need to heal. So then it's just asking to release it. And it's really journaling it all out so you get it out of your body. And the other thing that journaling does is it gives you consciousness about the thoughts that are driving these emotions that are driving the creation process. So once you have enough awareness around the thoughts, you can start asking yourself, do I really want to feel this way? Do I really want to respond this way? Because I'm going to get more of that if I do. When did I start feeling this way? When did my luck start to turn bad? Like, is it something you remember from like childhood? Like, you always stubbed your toe, you always crashed your bike, you always, your mom was always yelling at you, your brother was always beating you up, you were always bullied. Like, what's the life story? it's important to look at those things so that we can deactivate them, not necessarily to activate them. So we don't really want to go into, the whole memory bank and relive it. What we want to do is go in from an intention of releasing it, becoming aware of it, and then saying, this no longer serves me. And then connecting which thoughts, which words, which sayings that you're saying that actually drive this energy. And I gave you a few of them. Do you feel cursed? I had somebody recently tell me that they felt like somebody cursed them. And the truth is, no one has power over your energy field unless you believe they do. Not the government, not alcohol, not other people, not curses, not any of it. None of it has power over you unless you give your power over it to it. Your emotions, your addictions, your husband, your wife, that's all power that you are giving over by believing that you are powerless, by believing that they have power over you. And by sending out a vibration of powerlessness and unworthiness, guess what you're going to get back? Absolutely more of it. So this is about becoming assured inside of yourself about your true value, about your true worthiness, and then kind of setting those boundaries around your relationships where you say, I'm not taking that crap anymore. You're not necessarily needing to break off relationships, but you are needing to put your boundaries in place so that people are no longer taking advantage of you and devaluing the very beautiful, brilliant being that you are. Please, no one has power over you. No one. Your beliefs are what create. So I want to do a little quantum physics today. I want to get into just the science of creating, the science of quantum physics, and your thoughts are what drive your emotion, right? And I know I've shared this before, but it's always valuable to come back to, because when we remember this stuff, when we really focus on this stuff and we keep it at the forefront of our life and our minds, we actually promote more activation of it. So I love revisiting it. I love talking about it. You guys know I'll talk forever. All right, so quantum physics. Even if you are trying, I want to say this again, trying, you have momentum. You have momentum going in a certain direction. And if you've been doing it for a long, long time, let's say like your whole entire life, you've been running this unlucky vibe your whole entire life, what's going to need to happen is we're going to have to do some shifting and releasing to change that. And this is why. So you have a thought, that thought evokes a feeling, right? That emotion starts running energy. The emotion is what starts sending out the wave. It's not your thoughts. Thank you, Lord and Jesus. Because if every thought created, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Because, good Lord, do we have some thoughts? Do we have some negative thoughts? Do we have some anxious thoughts? We have thoughts about wanting things, and if they all came to us, we would not have any room to lay in our beds. So not every thought creates, thank goodness. The feeling and the belief underneath it is what drives the energy out. So they say 16 seconds for a thought, for another thought to join it. So once you're on that train, right, or boarding the roller coaster ride or driving into the bad neighborhood, at 68 seconds, that's when emotion is evoked. Now, if you're triggered, the emotion might actually be evoked a little faster. Triggers you can go from 0 to 60 very fast. So if you've got a bunch of wounds that need healing, it's possible that it will be quicker than 68 seconds. And this stuff, this timing thing is not super important, because if you get too crazy about this stuff, you'll drive yourself nuts, and that's not my goal. The really important thing is just to notice the thought and to change it as quickly as possible, to get off the frequency as quickly as possible, unless you want to go there. Sometimes we feel dramatic. Sometimes we feel bitchy. Sometimes we just want to go there, right? Because of that, because of the idea that we are addicted to emotions and we are addicted to the chemical downloads and hormones that happen in our body, it's very possible that some of us just want to do that sometimes. I know I can do that sometimes. Certain times of the month, I'm going there. But if you are doing that a lot, it is an invitation to heal, and it's not the way you want to conduct in life. Because if you're always in these lower frustrations, aggravations, triggered states, you're activating from wounds. You're creating from wounds, and I can imagine your life is pretty chaotic. So we really don't want to do that anymore. The other piece of that that's coming up for me is the dramatic piece. When we have these dramatic relationships with people, it's often a power struggle, and it can often make us feel powerful, right? So, definitely in mothering, like understanding my mothering and the power struggles that I would have with my kids, and then releasing that power and the beauty that shifted that relationship and how much better we communicated was incredible. But that was my healing journey. That was an invitation for me to heal. And I've done a ton of that, and I probably have more to do. Absolutely. I will always have more to do. We always have more to do. That's the beauty of life, is it doesn't stop, and we continue to expand and grow throughout it. So if it comes to your belief systems, connect with that, release with the unluckiness, understand that your feeling of being unlucky is a trauma. It's a trauma that's trapped in your body. It's a trauma that you've created possibly over and over again. So you've activated the energy over and over again. So it's in there. It's in your body, stuck in there. You got to ask for some releasing. You got to do some breathing. You got to get it out. Definitely, no doubt about it. When you do the release work and you connect with the belief systems, then you have to start creating new belief systems. You can't actually change a belief. The interesting thing about beliefs that I love so much, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. Isn't that like so freeing? A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. You can question your beliefs all the time. You can go, well, do I have to believe that? Do I want to believe that? Does believing that get me to where I want to go? And if the answer is no, then we got to work on the belief systems. You can't change a belief. You got to let one go and ignite a new one. You got to activate a new one, because they're on different frequencies. They're on different radio stations. So you got to drop one and pick up another. This is the problem with addictions. A lot of times people will let go of alcohol or drugs, and then they don't have anything in their life experience to take the place of it. So they end up going back to it. So that's why, any of the rehabilitation centers or AA will teach you, you got to put something good in place. I know AA is a big proponent of being a sponsor and helping other people. You get that helper's high. You you help other people along, and that makes you stronger in your journey. So when it comes to beliefs, we've got to we got to release the hold on that one. Do it through journaling, do it through breathing, do it through interruption. You got to interrupt those thoughts that drive those feelings. And then you've got to take on the new belief. And a great way to do that is first to decide. Decision it is such a powerful energy. And I think it's underplayed in our society. When you decide something and you hold on a strong decision and you have integrity for yourself, integrity for the word to yourself, and you show up for yourself, you're going to create really cool stuff. So that decision that you make has a really strong connection to the energy field and the activation of what you're looking to create. And then it's having the words to put along with it. It's having the emotion to connect to it. So a couple of the things that I've done recently is, giving new meanings to things has really been helpful in changing my belief systems. This is a silly one, but it's small, but I found it kind of interesting. And I was like, wow, when did that happen? So I was at the grocery store recently, and I looked down and I saw a chocolate chip cookie, a fresh baked chocolate chip cookie. And I have been eating really healthy, and I've been working to stay away from processed foods. And besides popsicles, I really love Outshine popsicles. But I looked at that cookie and I thought, wow, does that look good? And then my second thought was, that looks like a stomach ache. Like I could feel the energy of how I was going to feel after that. And if you do that with things that you're addicted to that are not good for you, you will absolutely most likely not take part in it, because what you're doing is you're tuning out of the frequency of it and you're tuning into something that labels that thing as it's not going to serve me. it's not going to be good for me. And I've seen this chocolate chip cookie a few times. The damn thing is there every time I go. So when I realized that, I went, wow, when did I change my belief system about the chocolate chip cookie? I've totally done this with alcohol recently too. I'm not going to say I'm alcohol free right now because we just came off of Vegas, but I A, didn't drink as much as I usually do. B, I had not one single hangover when I was there. So I think that was a win. And C, it just doesn't have the power over me because I've decided it doesn't. So I'm okay with doing it every once in a while. I'm okay with just being okay with it. And that's been, I think, one of the biggest things in my relationship with alcohol is realizing that I don't necessarily know if I have to give it up forever. I don't know if that's my path of least resistance. I don't know if that's my path of most joy, because sometimes I do feel a little up level when I'm taking part. So still processing that one, still looking at it, but I'm better than I ever have been. And isn't that what we're looking for? Just to be the best we can be, just to do the best that we can, to do what feels best in this moment. I think that's really good, and I think it could really let us off the hook of beating ourselves up over silly things that just create a cycle of beating ourselves up and then, drinking to try to feel better. I don't want to do that I haven't done that in a long time. All right, so moving on. Here is a great question. So we got to connect with the belief systems. We got to create new belief systems. Here is a great saying to begin activating the energy, because when it comes to law of attraction, when it comes to changing things, you can't go from depression to joy. It's too far of a leap. There's too many emotions in between, and the energies don't connect, right? They don't connect. Now, you could go from depression and winning the lottery and maybe having joy, but underneath you're still going to have depression. So you're probably going to end up spending all that money and being depressed again. So we want to work on the vibration underneath. So this is a great way to start it. Why not me? Why not me? That's going to start activating something within you, because that's going to start derailing the idea that this could never happen for you. It's going to start derailing the idea that you're going to be unlucky and poor and suffering your whole life. It's going to derail that when you start asking, why not me? You're opening an activation. And then when you start seeing things, let's say you see some beautiful cars, let's say you see some beautiful homes, let's say you see someone who has what you want. You look at that person and you ask that question, why not me? And you get a little bit excited about that, because the potential for it to, if that thing is in your field, the potential for you to have it is there, because it's an activation in your quantum field. So if it's there, it's evidence, baby. And that gets me pumped. And it's not just material stuff, if you meet a super joyful person, and they raise your energy field and they make you feel good and you think, wow, I want more of that. You have tuned into that frequency. And because of that, you can carry it with you. And you don't need that person to activate it, but that person is evidence that you have an avenue to it. You have the potential to create it because they are in your field. It's not so far. Yeah, the reason why we do this is because we don't want to be so far fetched from where we are. We really just want to start activating energy. If you go from, I'm working on this creators program. I'll just give this baby a little plug right now. What I realized about the creators program is I've created a program and I can bring people in at any time. So if you missed the deadline for the creators program, it's wide open right now. I am so excited to work on people's programs with them, whatever they're creating. And the stuff that's coming to me is, it's up-leveling my experience. And one of the reasons I started the creators program is because I wanted to recommit to my book. I have 30 pages written in my computer on a prequel to Quantum Speak, which is the book that I wrote. And if you haven't read it, it's on Amazon. And I'm going to rebrand it. I'm going to retitle that book, and then I'm going to create this prequel, which is basically, it's kind of like my story and how we got to where we are and the manifestations that have happened throughout my life, because there have been many of them. So in writing that story, I let it go. I think the last time I wrote in it was in December. it's like June right now. So that's a long time to not spend creating. I've been creating other things. So I don't feel the lack of not creating because I'm creating other things. But I really want to get that book out into the world this year. So I decided today, even though my program started last week, today was the day I had time. I'm putting my 30 minutes in. It's 30 minutes to an hour of writing, creating a website, creating videos, creating a painting, whatever it is that you're looking to create. I'm going to give you the inspiration. I have somebody working on abundance right now. That's so cool. She just really wanted to shift into abundance. So we're activating more of that. And through her program, through the thing that she's working on, which is just a vibration, it's just a feeling, we're up leveling the abundance of the whole group. So we have a private Facebook group. It's $200 a month subscription, and I'm doing it for 2 months, but it may branch off into other things like getting you to self-publish. I know how to take you all the way to the end of that. It may branch off into other things. So in the beginning, it's just a commitment for 2 months. I'm doing guided releases, guided meditations, whatever I can throw at you, writing prompts. I'm going to get you activating the energy of your creation, of what you're looking to create in the world. The thing about creating is it activates abundance because you're in this high vibration of higher consciousness when you're creating. That's why time feels like it stops. So let me know if you're interested in that. You can email me, livelifegolden@gmail, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at livelifegolden and Golden Duffy at Facebook. All right, so moving on. Oh, I was going to say about my creators program. So I have somebody working on some writing, and she is like opening up like so much, like heart chakra burst open. She's just like, her writing is just so beautiful and something she's never tapped into before. And she said to me, I can't even wrap my brain around this being an abundance thing, like being a project of abundance. And I thought, you don't have to, right? It's too far-fetched right now to think, oh, this book could set my family free. It's too far-fetched. I'm sure that J.R. Tolkien never imagined or dreamed that her book would do what it's doing. Maybe she did. I'm not really sure of her story totally. I know she was in pretty dire straits when she read it. In fact, I think she was on food stamps. But that's the beauty of creating, of allowing this energy to come through us. We have no idea where it's going to go. And the beauty of it is when we let it flow, that's when the energy of miracles can take place and opportunities, because we're activating from our strongest and most powerful force. All right, where are we going from here? Okay, so this connects with your worthiness, and it helps you consider other possibilities when you go, why not me? Why not me? I think that all the time. Like, why not us? Like, there's not like certain people that have been chosen in this life to be abundant, that have been chosen to live their dreams and their desires. I don't believe that. I believe we all have access because of universal law, because of law of attraction, and because of what I have screaming through me every day to get up and create and to get up and share this stuff with people. So it absolutely can be you. This also helps you feel a little less separated from those who are lucky. Because if you think to yourself, why not me? And I can have what they have, you don't hate on them so much. And if you're not hating on them so much, then you're not creating a separation in the energy field between you and what they're experiencing. That unification with the higher energy fields is where it's all about. And that unification with the higher energy fields is your joy, it's abundance, it's passion, it's freedom, it's allowing the goodness to come through. Once you activate, you must start noticing the evidence or it won't solidify. So even in the smallest indications, the smallest things that you see happening, you notice it, you feel it, you get excited about it, it up levels energy. If you barely notice it, you don't notice it at all, or you ignore it, you're not allowing for something new to transpire. So paying attention, getting excited, not really knowing what's going to happen today is the foundation that you want to come from. Even the smallest things can build confidence and shift your energy field in your creative powers, in the belief that law of attraction works for you, in the belief that you are a lucky, lucky person, that you have been born under a lucky star. Say that to yourself 100 times a day. I have been born under a lucky star, and I know things are going to work out for me. Try it with parking. parking's a great example. And I always call them my parking angels. That's what I call it. It's intending for a parking spot. My husband does this so well. He does it better than I do, but I'm getting better because I'm watching him. You just intend for that parking spot. In fact, here's a really good one. My friend stayed in Newport. I don't think I shared this with you guys, but we stayed at a beach house in Newport. My friend rented one for her birthday, and we decided to do a girls' night and pay for a night there and have our little fun Wednesday, I think it was, instead of Fun Friday. We did Fun Friday too. Start a little early and get an extra day. And 3 days before that, I already started thinking about the parking situation because there's a lot of people down in Newport. It's all street parking and it's like vacation central right now. So 3 days before that, I started thinking about it, and I literally parked right in front of their house. I got the spot. These people left as soon as I got there, and I zoomed right in. And it happened to me 3 times that weekend because I kept going back. It's like, if my friend's going to have a beach house, I'm going to be there. So that's how that works when you intend. But if you have anxiety, if you're stressed out, if you're worried about the parking situation, you're blocking the flow of energy to actually create that for yourself. So just relax, intend it, think about it, focus on it. We have a little harder of a time when we just get to a place and go, oh crap, we forgot to focus on parking before we got here. We have a little bit harder of a time, right? And that could be our belief systems because we're like, oh no, we didn't work on that, so we can't have it right away. My husband does it bar none so easily. All right. This is the things that build your confidence and grow your faith is your ability to co-create. It's as good as you can get at believing that we are in a co-creative universe, like trusting the energy, understanding that you're not alone in this, calling on, activating. Like I said, I got parking angels. I got angels for everything. I even have angels for French braiding girls' hair because when my daughter was in hip hop, I had to Dutch braid, and Dutch braid is opposite of what I learned. So I watched a YouTube video and I prayed to my angels, and I actually just had to do it again after not doing it for like a year and a half, and I rocked it. Me and my angels rocked it. So you can activate energy in the universe by trusting that you have non-physical support. And I know that may sound like woo-woo. So, call on whatever feels good to you. Universe, source, energy, higher consciousness, whatever feels good to you is the right way to call upon it. So because this is a co-creative universe, you have to allow. So you put in the effort, you put in the activation, you put in the energy. And once you start to feel like you've done everything you can, that's when you got to relax. That's when you got to allow. That's when you got to get in receiving mode. And one of the most important things to know is that physical manifestation takes time to break down, right? Like that wave has to come out and start to break down and become physical matter. There's time that needs to happen. There's patience. There's allowing. There's receiving that needs to take place in order for you to not get in there and mess up the energy field by being desperate, by chasing it, by running it. I mean, what happens when we chase things? They run, right? We don't want to chase. We want to attract. We want to become. We want to identify. We want to resonate. That's what actually aligns you with energy. Okay, so look for and ask for signs when you don't know the next step and when it feels hard. This is the time to start activating a little bit of faith and trust that all things are always working out for me. Not, oh crap, nothing's happened yet. I'm so unlucky. I can't manifest. If you're doing that, that's why you're experiencing that. So just drop it. Drop that old story. Drop that old energy, because this is the thing. You've got to break the momentum of what you've been experiencing. So if you've been in a momentum of unluckiness, it's going to take a little while for that to work itself out. And the thing that makes it change faster is how you respond. All you have to do now, once you get the awareness of the thoughts, is change the response. So something happens, it's not that optimal. You got to look at it and you go, okay, all right, how would I normally respond? Oh, I'd probably freak out, probably call my friend, probably complain a lot, probably drink some alcohol, probably get pissed off and be in a bad mood. Okay. Normal tendency, right? Instead, if you can get a hold of that and say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to trust, I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to focus and intend for what I want. And even writing it down, because writing is the strongest form of focus. So what do I want to create? What do I want to create? What do I want to create? And continue to interrupt the thoughts that tune you into anxiety, that tune you into fear, and that tune you into that unlucky baloney that you no longer want to be a part of. Speaking of luck, my husband won $55 on the slots this weekend. Yes, he did. My friend went to the bathroom. I saw a machine. I said, hey, sit down. These machines are ridiculous. You just hit the button, no skill involved. $55. I said, let's cash in. We did. So we came home winners. Yes, we did. We got about a quarter tank of gas for that. All good. All good. All right. So that's the biggest way. That's the biggest way to change your luck, is to change your response. It's to change how you feel. It's to change how you believe that you navigate this world. If you start to believe that you are lucky. And the thing about it is, when you start believing, hey, I got a chance at this thing. I got a chance to live a lucky life. I got a chance to live abundance. I have a chance to live more freedom and joy. In the very beginning, because of the nature of momentum, because of the nature of law of attraction, you still may see things that are of an unlucky nature. And it's all in how you navigate that will determine what happens next. If you respond in a way that's of a higher vibration, a higher frequency, I trust, I have faith, I believe. There's a great book by Florence Scovel Shinn that I absolutely love called The Game of Life and How to Play It. She will give you lots of mantras. She will give you lots of evidence that this stuff works. She was in like the 1940s, 1950s when women weren't speakers. She was a speaker, defying all the odds, right? Super confident lady. And she will tell you, this is, she does demonstrations where she literally just calls things in and they show up in the most miraculous ways. You can do this too. It's not for a certain part of society. It's not for a certain person. It is absolutely your destiny to live the life that you desire and dream of. It just has to begin with you and the energy you put out, the energy that you tune into, the energy that you decide about yourself. Such good stuff. So your response is absolutely everything, and it will tell you if you've changed. It will tell you if you've healed. If you no longer respond in a triggered state, you know that you've done the healing work, you've done the releasing work to become someone new, to create something different. Because that moment always determines what happens next. The most important thing in getting in touch with is this luck energy, is how you're feeling and releasing yourself from those unlucky vibes and tendencies. That's the most important thing, is recognizing it, interrupting it, becoming more aware of it, and no longer participating in it. And then deciding how things are going to go for you moving forward. And it wouldn't be a show without me talking about meditation. And this is the role that meditation plays in that. It clears your energy field, first of all. It creates the space that will help you to have the awareness around, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? So it gives you a little bit of leeway in the things you're tuning into. Otherwise, you're subject to the monkey mind all the time. And there's like this thing running, and it's running you, and it's creating your life by default. It's not allowing you to be a powerful creator because you don't know how to get a handle on it, and you feel like your thoughts are thinking you. So the very first thing is that absolute, so that you're no longer in these automatic thoughts and beliefs that make you feel unlucky. That's the most important thing, is to get out of the run-on, right? The run-on sentences, the run-on thoughts, the run-on energy that continue a cycle that you're no longer interested in living. Meditation always changes energy because you're in the higher fields of consciousness. So even if you're having a lot of thoughts during your meditation and you're judging it, I don't want you to do that. Even if you're doing that, you're having breaks of thought that you're not totally aware of that are absolutely benefiting you. They are creating that muscle. So that muscle might be small to begin with, but it is there, and it is there for you to strengthen and become stronger. Raises your vibe. Like I said, you're in the field of higher consciousness, so you come out of your meditation different as long as you can create a new state when you're there, that zero state awareness, as long as you can connect with that, even for a couple seconds, even for a couple of minutes, you're going to raise your vibration and feel different, which means you have the ability to tune into different energies. It introduces new potentials and puts you in a different playing field. I love that. So I have a friend who this is what sparked this playing field thing for me. She her son plays for a baseball team, and we're really excited because he's really, really good, and we really believe he has the potential to be on a major league baseball team, like no doubt about it. And she gets signs all the time, and I love being a part of it, and I watch him play, and he is fantastic. So last year he had a bit of a rough year. I mean, COVID has really created some real challenges for people in these fields, and to like continue to follow your dream. So he's on a minor league team right now, and this year he has come in so strong, and he actually got 3 home runs this week, and that momentum is incredible when you're not hitting the ball. And we all know this, like if you've ever played sports or bowling or golf or any of that stuff, it's such a mind game. It is absolutely such a mind game. If you ask any of these players if they do meditation or visualization, I can guarantee the best ones absolutely do. So when you put yourself at a momentum where you're winning, where you've got a streak going, it creates that power and confidence that creates more of it for you. So you've tuned into a station where you're winning and you feel great. And because of that, the winning streak continues. So many blessings out to him, and an incredible season. And for him to be picked up would be, I know it would be the answer to his mom, his dad's, and his dreams. And it would be incredible to watch. And I would be super excited for my tickets. So think about that. Think about that when you're creating. This guy was able to leave the season behind, last year's season behind, and no longer create from his past. So can you do that? Can you completely leave the past alone? Because when you're living in that unlucky energy, you are dragging the past with you, and you are creating from the vibration of the past, something that happened yesterday. In fact, this moment right here, right now, is a manifestation that is pretty much over. You've already created it. So if you understand that your present, your future is your power. The future is now. What you're doing right now is going to create your future. So don't drag that past around with you. Don't be a repeat offender. Don't be a repeat offender of this unlucky energy. Don't do it. Stop doing that. It was funny. I was I was thinking about this video that my nutritionist sent me, and we were talking about some things. And he sent me a video by Bob Newhart, and you can look it up on YouTube. It's called Stop It. And Bob was talking to this woman, and he's a therapist in the show. And he was talking to her, and she was telling him all of her issues. And his suggestion in every one of her issues was to stop it. And I thought that was super profound, because like she was like, but I grew up this way, and my mom did this to me. And he said, well, just stop it. Like, stop thinking about it. Stop tuning into the frequency of it. And as much as I value the healing journey and believing that we do need to heal, we do need to forgive, we do need to release resentments and energy, if you can become a good stopper, if you can stop that energy, if you can stop that and interrupt the thoughts and feelings and beliefs that create the unluck for you, that create the crap for you, you will be so powerful. That is probably one of the most life-changing things I've ever experienced, is the mind training piece of this, and realizing that everything is mind training, because so much of what we experience in misery and problems in our relationships and problems in our financial condition, so much of that is the old energy and the old beliefs and what we're bringing to it. It's our assumptions about it. It's the stories we wrap around it that cause it to be what it is. It's the story you wrap around yourself that cause you to be what you are. So we can change that at any time. And that's a beautiful thing. And that makes me want to like jump up and down. I won't, but I could. All right. So yeah, stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. I love that. It's so simple, but it's really profound, and it really does work when you're talking about energy fields and when you're talking about tuning in and when you're talking about letting go of past baloney that no longer matters. God, I said baloney twice in this episode. Good Lord. All right. So stop dragging energy around, believing others, using old evidence against yourself. So, like, that happened to me before. I tried to create that business and I failed. I tried to write that book and I failed. All that old energy is never, ever going to help you to create something new. So, we have to let it go. We have to stop it. If you want to let go of that, you have to call on your healing energies, your releasing energies, journal this stuff out, and ask for a renewal in your field. Ask for new energies, ask for new stuff to come. You gotta, this is where we're at in this conversation. It's all about rising up. That's what the Creators Program is all about. It's all about rising up and showing up for yourself, showing up for the integrity of the desires of your heart, showing up for what life is calling you to becoming more, to allowing that life force to flow through you. That's what creative energy is. It's the life force. And it's allowing you to feel more alive, to feel passionate, to feel joy, to create abundance. That's what it all is all about. So rise up. Start feeling excited. Keep being interested. Keep being interested in your own evolution. Master your belief systems. Master your emotional field. Master your thoughts. When you become a master of those things, you no longer tune into the stuff that causes you misery because you refuse. You refuse to think about that thing that happened 10 years that made you feel so down and out. You refuse to activate energy that doesn't serve you. You refuse to talk to those who bring you down or devalue you. You can do this because it's your life and you get to choose. When we went to Vegas, a really interesting thing happened, and I didn't know I was going to share it, but I think I need to. So we went to the show, was at MGM Grand, and we stayed there quite a few years ago when we were with our network marketing company, and it was the convention that we spoke at in front of 4,000 people. And we don't really realize this, we're staying at a different hotel. We were staying at Aria, and we walked over to the MGM, and as we're walking in, we both get this flood of memories. And like even going into the bathroom, and the room that we saw Wayne Brady at was right near where we spoke, the exact place we spoke at. And the MGM Grand's pretty big. And just standing there in the front atrium, and then going to the bathroom and having this flood of memories of a life previous. It feels like another lifetime ago where we spoke on stage and we ran teams and we did what we did in our network marketing career. It was intense. It was awesome. It was actually awesome. And my husband said to me, "Oh, we ate dinner there with so-and-so." And he said, "Wouldn't it be so cool if we could like meet our old selves right now and say, hey, this is how it's going to go. 7 years from now, you're going to be living in California." We would have been like, "What?" And you're not even going to be with this company anymore. We actually still have an income with them, but we don't promote the company. I mean, we love the company. Send out cards. You send out cards from your computer. We still use it. We love it. We adore the people involved. We just don't. That's not how we create joy in our life. So, but thinking about that and thinking about being on that big stage and that's part of what I'm reaching towards right now, is being on stage and doing keynote speaking and promoting this information to more people so that we can take our power back in the world and we can live these ecstatic experiences and these epic life experiences and live abundance and joy, because that's what I'm really interested in. That's what I'm interested in bringing more people along to. So pretty cool to just have that flashback. Interestingly, we had been talking about it over dinner, about that company and what we did there. And we kind of forgot about the speaking thing. We spoke in front of 4,000 people. Like, that's no big deal. It was 6 minutes, but like proving to ourselves that we can do that is huge. And when I say like having to walk through your, comfort zone and the anxiety and fear that came along with that, but the confidence you get from holding the room, holding the space for that many people is something I am so ready to get back to and so excited about getting back to, that this just seemed to solidify it. Like having those memories come back and realizing how far we've come and realizing that we did go after our dreams and having that flood of energy come through us was pretty awesome. It was definitely a bonus to the trip that we did not know was coming. So, whoo, fantastic. If you've ever done that, it is definitely life-giving, life enjoying, life force, life passion. All of that stuff is so brilliant. So find a way. Find a way to do that in your life, even if it's just 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's all I call my people to: 30 minutes, an hour a day, 5 days a week. And some of them, some of them started off really strong and some of them not so much. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm running this program and we're going to run it together and we're going to work. A big part of the creators program is working through releasing stuff and working through the resistance, because the resistance is major when you start putting your voice out there. The vulnerability that you're going to experience from putting your, your creative project out there is it's pretty intense. And I'm going to walk you through it and I'm excited to do that. So if you're interested, livelifegolden@gmail. M21 Revolution begins again in July. We're going to launch another program if you want to learn how to meditate and learn some more about law of attraction, because we do lots of stuff about that. That's M21 Revolution on Facebook. Free group, donation-based challenge. Super excited about that. My books are on Amazon, Quantum Speak and Quantum Speak for Parents. It's all about the science and spirituality of manifesting. It's our story from moving from Connecticut, the only thing we ever knew, selling everything we owned and moving to California, and how that all worked out for us. So there's more to come on that, which I'm really excited. All right, that is my show for today. I absolutely love you all. I'm so excited about life and I want you all to be as excited as I am. Peace.